So it's been almost 2 years since the PS5 came out, and we've had some incredible games such as God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, and more. But I think now is probably the best time to break down what I love about the console, what I feel can be improved, and look ahead to what the future holds for this console. When it comes to the PS5, I've got to say I really like the futuristic look of it. I was super surprised Sony went for a white colorway as opposed to their traditional black, but the biggest issue I had with the PS5 at first was the sheer size of the console, but after a while I got used to it. I also discovered that the digital edition is also slightly slimmer than the disc version, but not by a great deal. Also, if you're not a fan of the white and black look, you'll be happy to know that you can remove the white slabs of plastic on either side of the PlayStation 5 console and customize it to your liking. But not only does this grant immediate access to the console's innards for dust removal and replacement of the NVMe SSD storage, but it also allows you to replace the white plates with a host of different designs that Sony now offers as separate accessories. This means you can return to the traditional all-black look should you wish, with other official options including a galactic purple colorway and grey camouflage print. There are also countless third-party faceplate options on Amazon. When it comes to putting your console in your entertainment setup, you have the choice to either place it horizontally or vertically in the included stand. I prefer having it vertically because I generally think it looks better, but compared to the Xbox Series X, I think the overall build quality here feels like a notable step backwards. Overall, I think the best thing about the design is that it's customizable, which is something the PS4 never had. I love how you can change the faceplates and upgrade your storage quite easily, but personally, I like the white and black colorway, but I'll be lying if I said I haven't been eyeing those black faceplates. So the PS5's DualSense controller just might be the most next-gen thing about Sony's new console. The gamepad's haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, and built-in speaker work together brilliantly, creating a level of tactile immersion I've honestly never experienced while playing a game before. The DualSense really shines in Astro's Playroom, a free pre-installed title built specifically to showcase what Sony's new controller can do. In this colorful 3D platformer, you can feel and hear the subtle impact of the environment, for example, feeling grains of sand while walking through a storm or on the beach. Everything from pulling your boat to gliding around in a jetpack generates an extremely detailed level of force feedback. It's the kind of thing you truly need to feel to believe. The adaptive triggers are especially impressive. When playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, I felt subtle but extremely nuanced vibrations during cutscenes, as the controller would perfectly match the distant stomps of Rhino's feet with tactile feedback. I also appreciated the slight feeling of resistance when using the triggers to web swing through Manhattan, as well as the buzz of electricity every time I charged up Miles' venom attacks. Sony's new controller also packs in a built-in microphone, which allows you to chat with your friends if you don't have a gaming headset on hand. However, I would definitely recommend you get a gaming headset, especially for games like, Call of Duty that are very competitive, and obviously you need to hear, your friends chat and help you know where people are, your enemies, etc., stuff like that. But it's great to see that even if you don't have a gaming headset, you can still talk with your friends through the controller, but still get a gaming headset, link in the description if you're interested in getting one. Overall, I think the DualSense already shows some incredible potential, but it's only as good as the games that take advantage of it. While games like Astro's Playroom, Spider-Man, Demon's Souls, and Call of Duty do some exciting things with Sony's gamepad, I'm curious to see how developers will fully tap into the DualSense unique features in 2023 and beyond. So back in 2020 when the PS5 first launched, the lineup of games available was absolutely incredible. The biggest game was Spider-Man Miles Morales, a gorgeous and fun follow-up to 2018's Marvel Spider-Man, complete with ray-traced graphics and an optional 60 frames per second performance mode. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is a simple but charming 3D platformer with lots of character customization, but Astro's Playroom, the free packing game that shows off the DualSense controller, might be even better. But the biggest true launch exclusive is Demon's Souls, a visually stunning remake of the beloved 2009 action RPG of the same name. Since launch, Sony have treated us to blockbuster titles like Ratchet & Clank: Rift Apart, Returnal, Horizon Forbidden West, and more. My biggest issue with the PlayStation 5 is the fact that many of its exclusive first-party title games are still also available on PS4. My question to Sony is when are you guys gonna leave the PS4 alone so we can literally just start getting games only on PS5? Only. We got God of War Ragnarok recently. That was also available on PS4, so I'm just I start to think, did God of War Ragnarok really take advantage of the full capabilities of what the PS5 can do? That being said though, the best way to play any PS4 title right now is to play on PS5 because of visual enhancements and the option of better frame rates. Like the PS4 can't, but with the PS5 you can play games at 60 frames per second and 120 frames per second, so it's just a more powerful machine. Overall, I think the state of games on the PS5 is very strong going into 2023. The game I'm looking forward to most is Spider-Man 2, and who knows, we may get a few surprise announcements. The future is looking bright nonetheless. 3D audio has also been another major selling point of the PS5. The PS5's Tempest engine enables it to deliver 3D audio for supported games, allowing you to hear game sounds with greater directionality than standard stereo can offer. The 3D audio is designed to work with most existing headphones and headsets, though Sony's new Pulse 3D wireless headset is optimized for the technology, but I'd strongly recommend the PS5 version of the Astro A20 headsets over them. The build quality and comfort is better and the 3D audio sounds super promising. I think the PS5's audio tricks were the most noticeable in Astro's Playroom. I could hear the rain clearly coming from above me and could pinpoint the sound of a tornado whirring between my left and right ears as it shot my character upwards. It was also easy to pick out where cars and enemies were coming from when swinging around in Spider-Man Miles Morales, but I didn't notice a huge difference between when the effect was on or off. But again, like the DualSense controller, it's ultimately up to the developers to make the most out of this new technology. But I'm very eager to try more games with 3D audio support. When it comes to hardware, the PS5 has a powerful 8-core AMD Z2 processor, 10.3 teraflops of graphics power, and a ridiculously fast custom SSD. After playing a handful of incredible titles over the last 2 years, I'm already impressed by what Sony's console is able to pump out in terms of fidelity, frame rate, and most importantly, load speeds. It's no surprise games look fantastic running on Sony's new console. Horizon Forbidden West looked more akin to a high-end PC game than a PlayStation title, as I marveled at the incredible detail in the character models and colors of the open world in 4K. Thanks to the console's ray tracing support, the lighting and reflections in Forbidden West is nothing short of a technical achievement. The PS5 version of Horizon Forbidden West has a special performance mode which turns off effects such as ray tracing and uses upscale 4K in favor of a higher frame rate. When I switched to this mode, combat felt incredibly smooth and fluid at 60 frames per second while still enjoying beautiful visuals of the open world. I felt like I was experiencing something that simply couldn't be done on previous gen consoles. But while ray trace visuals and 60 frames per second performance modes are great, where the PS5 truly feels next gen is the lightning fast SSD. When booting up a game like Horizon Forbidden West, there's almost zero downtime between selecting the title from your home screen and being out in the wild exploring nearby towns and fighting all types of machines. With more developers getting their hands on Unreal Engine 5, I'm really excited to see how far games were able to push graphics. The Matrix Unreal Engine 5 demo is a perfect example of how games will look in the future. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this demo.
How do we know what is real?
When it comes to UI, I think the PS5 interface is a clean, attractive, and snappy evolution of the PS4 software. Hopping in and out of games and navigating menus feel instantaneous. The home screen will definitely look familiar to PS4 owners with the horizontal row of tiles that showcases your most recent games. When you highlight a game, that title's art will take over the entire home screen while its music plays in the background, which is a neat aesthetic touch. I really appreciate that. There's also a handy Explore tab that shows news and updates, as well as a game library tab that allowed me to instantly start downloading my collection of PS4 titles. Much like on PS4, the PS5 lets you capture videos and screenshots or stream to YouTube or Twitch with a quick tap of the create button. I like that the PS5 software looks clean overall, but I do wish there was an option to organize your games into folders like the PS4. And honestly, by now, I was hoping that Sony will allow us to change the wallpaper on the PS5 home screen. Bit disappointed that that feature's not there, but I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that that feature will be in an update, in the near future. One clear area that I feel Sony needs to improve on is in its subscription service, despite the PS Plus service being overhauled this year. PlayStation Plus now comes in 3 tiers: Essential, Extra, and Premium. The first of these is PlayStation Plus as it existed before, granting you access to monthly free games and the PlayStation Plus collection, a catalogue of 20 of the most popular PS4 titles that can be downloaded and played on the PS5 or the older hardware. Upgrade to PS Plus Extra and you also get the game catalogue, a library of some 400 games that can span this generation and the one before it. All of these games can be downloaded and are yours to keep for as long as you're a PS Plus member. The top tier PS Plus Premium goes even further with a selection of retro PlayStation titles that go as far back as the original PlayStation console. So this is PlayStation's answer to Game Pass, but PS Plus Extra and Premium are nowhere near as much of a no-brainer right now. I mean, there are a lot of games right now in the game catalog, especially if you missed out on the last generation. But unlike Microsoft, Sony won't be putting first-party titles on the service at launch. if you want to play first party exclusives on day one, you're going to cough out upwards of $70 on top of your PlayStation Plus subscription, you know? So I guess there's a lot to think about. As for the PS Plus Premium, or the prospect of being able to play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 games in one place is undoubtedly appealing. The classic title library is seriously lacking right now, and PS3 games are only playable via streaming, which is really disappointing. So I would advise you guys, if you've missed out on the pretty much the past 5 years of gaming, you know, PlayStation related, I'll definitely recommend a PS Plus Extra. However, if you haven't, you know, and you've played some of these great PS4 titles before departing ways of your cash, I would say check out the game catalog and see if at least a number of games tickle your fancy. If you've played the best PlayStation 4 titles, then yeah, I don't think you're missing out. Overall, the PS5 is a genuine leap forward for console gaming, offering gorgeous 4K performance, stunningly fast load times, and a truly game-changing controller that makes playing games more immersive and tactile than ever. I definitely think it's a great time to buy a PS5, but I think my biggest hope in 2023 is that we start seeing more games exclusively on PS5. Like, I'm not talking about first party titles, I'm just talking generally. If a game is made for PS5, it doesn't have to be on PS5 and PS4. Let's leave the PS4 in 2022, please, like, let's leave it behind. No offense to anybody that has a PS4. This console has been out for 2 years, you know. Obviously now there's more stock, so I think this is just definitely the best time to buy one, especially with the quality of games that are out. I mean, my favorite game so far this year has definitely been God of War Ragnarok. I'm a huge God of War fan. A part of me also thinks that if it was a PS5 exclusive, you know, the experience might have been a bit better, but I still enjoyed it. It's still one of the best games this year. So if you enjoy tech and gaming content, make sure you check out my review comparing the PlayStation 5 to the Xbox Series X, and my other review comparing the iPhone 14 Pro Max to the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'll see you guys there.